I know I'm a little early today, but I had to check it out because I'm really not sure what I'm doing with this whole live thing. Excuse me. So, let's see. I'll give it a couple minutes here and see if anybody comes on right away. I don't want to jump the gun here. Kind of excited today. Today we're going to do a arrow block or a chevron block, if any of you are familiar with that. They have quite a few quilts out with those in them. I know I've made an arrow quilt already, but we're going to do it today with some artisan batik. Uh, this is called Summer Zest and a pack of charm squares. This was not a full pack, but it was enough that I can show you what it makes. So we're going to follow that up once we get the charm squares going and done. We're going to follow that up with some question and answer time. So you're free to ask anything you'd like in regards to Sew Granny Sew or sewing, or if you have any questions on the videos I've already made, go ahead and ask those. I'll be happy to help you. So I'm going to bring you over here. Let's get some light on the subject here. I'm going to bring you over here. And get that down where you can see what I'm doing there. Slide my coffee aside. If any of you know me, you know I've always got a cup of coffee in my hand. So all you're going to do is you're going to take your first block here. Now during this part, I won't be able to see what you write. I'm blind as a bat. So if you write anything, I will look here as soon as I'm done. We're going to line that up from peak to peak on the kitty corner of the square with the edge of the ruler. And then we're going to mark that out. So these are just half square triangles. I know I've made several videos on that. So that's all we're doing here. So we're going to draw it on the lightest color. Then we're going to line those back up. Pin those in place. So now your block looks as such, but you got two of them there. So then we're just going to take it to the sewing machine. We're going to line that up with our marking and sew a 1/4 inch side on that, or a seam on that side. Flip it around and sew back a 1/4 inch away from that line again. And then when we come back or get that done, we'll go ahead and line our ruler up with that line again. And then we're going to cut right down that line. And then we get blocks that look like this. So we got a half square triangle. They will have the little dog ears. I have cut those out. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to lay out these blocks so I can show you how to make the arrow and the chevron. So all you're going to do is line up your blocks with the same pattern to the inside. And then on the bottom, you're going to flip them over to put the lighter or the other color, whatever's up in that corner. You're going to put those towards the middle. And now you have created an arrow. So when you line those up in a row, you are actually creating excuse me, a chevron pattern across your quilt top. So if you want to do an arrow quilt, a lot of them call for arrows up and down. You just move them this way and sew them together. Excuse me. So then it forms the arrow on your quilt. So I just thought those are really cute. So many different things to do with them. You can always turn them back this way as well and make a diamond. Excuse me. Or a square on point, which is just where you have a square this way and then a square inside of it that forms a diamond. So that's good as well. And then of course you would just sew them together with a 1/4 inch seam, press them open, and sew these ones down, a 1/4 inch seam and press those open. Ew, I must apologize. I wasn't coughing at all until I got on here. So I'll back that up again and we'll start doing some question and answer here. So I know that YouTube sets these before you get your first 1,000 subscribers, sets these lives to private. So I don't know if I can make this public once I've done it. So I will remake this video as far as the arrows and the chevron pattern into an actual video so you can view that later and make that if you'd like. I don't know if I have some strong allergies going off. The other night I woke up in the morning and I had a swollen eye, and that lasted for a couple days. That's just passing. And now with a cough, I'm thinking it's allergies. So I haven't had much comments on my videos as I am just starting out. I only started 2 months ago. The name of our channel is So Granny So, as you know. My name is actually Melissa. I don't know if I've ever really said that in any of my videos. So my name is Melissa. Uh, if you'd like to introduce yourself in the comments of the video, I would love to meet you. How I got into sewing. So how I got into sewing, we just kind of grew up with it, I think. We were really young when we started sewing first by hand and then on the machine. And it was kind of like a privilege. So it was a lot of fun for me. And I've just liked sewing ever since. My fondest memory in sewing would be when we started to make quilts. We used to sit there for hours at a time and we had cardboard templates, put them on, recycled clothing, old pieces of fabric, whatever, and draw your quilt square, cut it out, and they just all went into big barrels. So when we needed quilts, we would just go to these barrels and pick out our squares and then get them sewn together to make. And then we used blankets for the back or the middle layer of them. So that was a lot of fun. Do I have a website? I do, kind of, sort of. I have a Facebook. You can find us there at So Granny So. We are on Etsy, although I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep that because I would like to have a website that is can be branded versus Etsy. If somebody asks you where'd you get that, and you say Etsy, nobody really knows the store name. So I would like more than that. So I would like to get a website. The Etsy shop name is So Granny So Crafts. There's not much in there at this time. I do a farmer's market on the weekends, and that's where I do most of my sales right now, unless somebody reaches out to me, which leads us into another question: is do you take custom orders? I do take custom orders. Um, so if you ever see me make something in one of the videos, such as the grocery bag dispensers, um, I do take custom orders. If you reach out to me and say, "Hey, I need one of those with puppies on it," I can certainly make that for you at the same price all across the board. Um, let's see. Do I have a site where people can converse? Yes, on Facebook. You can talk to each other, post your projects you're working on, ask me questions, help other people. You know, whatever you want to do on there, it's open to the public under So Granny So, and that was once again on Facebook. Let's see. What do I like most about sewing? I would say that once you have something down and you're just sewing repetitively, free thinking time basically. Uh, Not just that, it's you see your creation right away. Just like when people like to clean house, they can see what they've accomplished right away, and that is good for your soul actually. What do I like the least? I would say quilting in the quilt. That is really time consuming. You sit there for hours at a time on your sewing machine trying to quilt that in. Um, what are some of my other interests? Of course, many of you know cooking, gardening, sewing, quilting, shopping, of course. I have a husband and my cat, so we find a lot of different things to do. My favorite quilt pattern, I would say, oh, that was a tough one. I would say a star. However, I only know the sawtooth star right now. I am working on getting the other ones, learning how to do those, but you need different templates or you need how to learn how to cut at an angle, different things. And I've really just not had time to check into it more to start doing those. My least favorite quilt pattern is anything circle. I did try it a little bit and it's not as bad as one would think. But I just haven't experienced with it enough yet. Um, so I have seen over and over again, they say you're not a quilter unless you make a sunbonnet Sue quilt block. So that is like the old little Holly Hobby looking uh, blocks. I have not made one of those, and I know many quilters who have not made one of those. So that is a myth. um, I yeah, they say there's three blocks all quilters should know, and that one was a sunbonnet Sue, and the other two vary from place to place. You see that at so the sunbonnet Sue. Someday I might try that because it is kind of a cute little quilt block, but it's very dated. Do you ever scrap projects to come back to it later? All the time. I think a lot of us do. We'll start something and we're just not feeling it, or it's not turning out the way we thought it would. We set it aside. Sometimes I come back to it and finish it. Sometimes I use the supplies that are in it to make something else. As long as I use it, I think it's always good. Um, so, as far as the farmer's market, for those of you that also sell at farmers market, flea markets, vendor events, however you want to say the term, it's all one and the same. You rent a booth, you sell to your consumers that way. What is my best seller? I would say the best seller is the hand warmers slash boo boo bags, the baby size quilts, and the grocery bag dispensers. Those so far, I've only done a few as far as this goes this time around. I have sewn before in the past and sold, but this time around, I'm doing the vendor events and so forth. So that's what I've come up with so far. The items that just haven't sold yet are the hats, but we are in the heat of the summer. And I just started making them, so I'm sure maybe with time it will get a little bit better. Okay, let's see. Things that sell well is small things. The economy right now plays a big part in how much people have extra to spend on what I call willy nilly items. Um, so the smaller, like little gift bags, reusable gift bags, or little hand warmers or boo boo bags, or maybe an eye mask or something like that. Smaller items are the ones that are selling better. However, hair accessories such as the bows and stuff, and scrunchies, I think they've kind of just ran their course because they're not selling, and I have a whole basket of them. And I've heard the same thing from other sellers as well, other sewers. So that might be something to shy away from if you're just starting out and looking to do the flea market and farmers market, as they're really not selling, so it'd be a waste of your time to throw a bunch together. If you want to throw 5-10 of them together and put them in a basket, maybe one or two people that come to your booth would be interested in them. Maybe that's what they're looking for. So it's nice to have them on hand. However, they're just not selling right now. Another thing I thought would be good is probably dog and cat items. I know you can go online and find tons of dog stuff, but it's really hard to find the cat stuff. My daughter just informed me of that. So I am looking into doing some, just a few items from that to kind of get that out there and see if there is some interest in that. So I had 20 questions. Some of them kind of intertwined together there. And I was going to do a $10 gift certificate giveaway. However, we don't have anybody on here. And YouTube's going to set this to private. So I guess we don't have that right now. I do thank you for viewing this. If you do get to view it in the future, I am considering doing more lives in the future. After this one, I would just wanted to kind of pop in and see how they work and how they can be set up and whatnot. So thanks all if you got to view this later. I'm so glad you joined in for So Granny So. I will be putting out another video tomorrow on this actual quilt block. So do look for that if you've seen this in here, because in the video we both sold them together and so forth. Kind of hard to do when I'd have to turn my back to get in the sewing machine. So thanks for viewing all. Have a good day. Bye.